Alrighty, welcome to a functionality test and a demonstration showing how this tracker works and how it visualizes data and what everything else might be meaning. So first, I'm just going to go ahead and just set it up for myself, make it all ready, because that is our master sheet. Anyways, and if you haven't seen this part, go ahead and check it out on Gio's video. Otherwise, I'm just going to run through it here just really quickly. That's going to allow me to do what I need to do. So I allow access to that, to my entries, submit, to run the script. Usually it's pretty instantaneous, but sometimes if the latency to your Wi-Fi network is not as fast, it will just take a certain amount of time. I'll go ahead and proceed, allow everything. And all that's basically doing is allowing access to the scripts that we have in back. And that is kind of up here just to show you guys and have a demonstration of what it's actually doing. It's just clearing the cells and inserting the cells there. So how do we use this tracker? So first of all, I'm just going to input some data here just to give us an idea of how everything works. I'm going to go back to December and then put some for stake. We're going to put 25 envelopes, submit that. Then we'll go to January, submit that, put some for stake, put another 50. I like a nice looking graph. And then we'll go to February. Happy February, everybody. And then some more stake. And then 75, because who doesn't like a nice upward graph? Anyways, so we're going to see that. So our monthly sweeps mailed is going to show exactly just that. And if you just kind of hover over it, click on it, it's going to show you the actual amount. And I did make it so where by company, it does have the value. And so if that does ever change, you guys can always go to, see my mouse right here. You can always go to down here at new data. You're going to expand this tab here. And then it's going to show you basically this the behind the scenes of how everything works. And this is the value per company that we have. However, if you do change it, there is no actual way to adjust it from the back, so it won't like save all your other previous entries. It will save your previous entries, but it's going to change basically everything that you've had to that value, because there wasn't really any way to do that in that kind of case. However, if I do want to access my data for what I just put into that entry envelopes mailed, I am going to go down here and I'm going to go to new data. That is where all that data is stored. And as you can see right here, I put in 12/4/2024, 25 for stake, exactly what I put. Now, there's two different ways that if you do make a mistake, you can easily just click this undo button up here on the sheet. And what that's going to do is it's going to take it right back and put exactly what you just entered in there, if that you just made a quick mistake. And as you can see, it's no longer there. However, there is also the way that if you do make the other mistake, you log out, it's been a while, you're like, oh crap, I messed up. This is what you're going to do. You're going to just go over here and you can either edit the amount, so I can put in 1,000 and that, or 1,000 on there. As you can see, it's going to adjust the graph to $5,000 over there. Now, the reason this looks a little funky here is because I only put it for what I thought the average was on what people wrote. And if your graph does look a bit like this, where it goes off the charts, double click the graph so you can adjust it. And then we are going to go to the, I think it's not the series, which was it? Vertical axis, yeah. So it's going to be under the vertical axis. This little chart editor is going to pop up, and we're just going to adjust it. We're just going to put in 6,000, and then as I do that, it's going to put the highest range at 6,000. It's just going to make that a little bit easier for you guys, and then you can just click out of that for that graph. This, you don't have to worry about that. Doing that, the only one that would do that would be this graph, because this is in a log scale and this is just in a normal scale. So on the entries tab, again, or new data tab, you can edit it that way, change it. Now, however, if you do have to make a completely new thing, don't type it in as like steak like that. The thing is, it's not gonna, well, hold on, steak. It's not gonna work like that. That's not how it collects the data. Otherwise, it's not even gonna recognize that you put that in there. Because the way the graph works is it has to be word for word based on the drop down menu that we just had there. And that works on our entries tab. When we're selecting a company, it has to be written out exactly as it's written here. Otherwise, you're going to have an error. So best thing to do if you do mess up is just honestly go back. You can select it and just click the delete backspace arrow on your computer, and then it's going to just completely remove all of that. However, should you actually have another issue, you can also just select the row and then click delete row. Now, it is going to adjust everything else in our formulas. As we can see here, we're going to open up that new data again, and we're going to open up this. And so typically, if you do have to delete something, that's why the data starts down here, because it wants it. You don't want to accidentally delete something down here. So you are okay to delete the rows. And then honestly, if you, for some apparent reason, run out of entries at the very bottom, it has over 9,000 rows. You can always just add in rows. So for example, right here, as you can see, it says C998. If we select a whole bunch of this right here, and we insert 8 rows below, right? It's going to add 8 rows below. We go back to this. The formula is actually going to adjust for that. So you have to insert a row or delete a row if you want to do it that way. But honestly, I just honestly recommend just selecting it and just deleting it and putting it where you want to. But if you have data that looks like something along the lines of this, oops, redo that. If you have data that looks something like this, oh my gosh, it is not being friendly today. Let me do that one more time. I'm just trying to copy and paste this real quick. See, if it looks like this, because you messed something up, and then you might just have something like that. It is best to just select it, and as you can see, it doesn't go there. It won't ever go there. You can just delete that row, and then it will completely adjust. So that is kind of how this one works in that case. Let's see. Now we're going to go do the exact same thing. We're going to go to the entries tab down here, and drop entry date is simply when you get a drop. That is not anything else. A drop is just as soon as you get that drop, enter it into the tab here. So we're going to go ahead and just enter a tab. We're going to stick with steak, and we're going to put in a drop for $10. What a wonderful drop, right? So we're going to put that in. Now, as you can see, if we go over here, the drop is going to go to the credited to date. It doesn't go anywhere else except this and here. And then it's going to adjust this here for the amount that we did get that drop. And it's not going to go to your profit because it's a drop and you still have to play through it or whatever the case is. But stake, you don't actually have to play through it. Just from my knowledge, you can just redeem it that right away. Now, if we go back here to the tab down here, it's going to be received, the received tab. And as you can see, our drop is situated frankly right there. And again, if we want to delete it, we can just select it and delete, simple as that. And we're going to put it there. Then for another entry, we are going to redeem. This is okay. I played on, say I played, I got the drop, and I had to do a one-time playthrough. And then at the end of the day, I actually only redeemed $5. How absolutely sad. So we're going to put that, and where that's going to go, and that's the only, you use that every time you redeem. So if you have a daily dollar that you have, you're going to put that in there as for a redemption. If you played, you somehow won a ton of money, then you're going to put that as redemption. And this is what actually goes towards your actual profit minus your costs. It's the logical sense and how that actually works. And to see that redemption, you're just going to go down to here, this redemption tab. And that is stored exactly right here. Please don't touch this. You're going to mess this up. If you do touch anything past this orange line, we highly do not recommend you doing that. And then we're going to go back over to our dashboard. And as you can see, we got credited to date $10 and then actually redeemed 5. So our ratio here is not honestly all that great if we're trying to make money. Our actual profit's going to show $4 because we put in a tax rate of 20% here on our entry tab. And that entry tab is going to just display that tax cost over here. Now it's not going to add it to your total here because the way the formula works, it just doesn't work that way. It's only going to add up these bundles, miscellaneous pens, index cards, envelopes, and stamps. And it's going to show it that way. So again, when you're entering envelopes, this is when you mail it out. This is when you actually get that drop. And then if you do or don't redeem that drop, if you don't put anything for, say you got the drop and then you actually didn't redeem anything, you can just put in 0, sad as that is. And then for our rejections, if we want to edit that, we got 5. I forgot how much I put, but we got 1 envelope rejected. We're going to submit that data, and then that's going to be stored down here on our rejections tab right here. And this is all it's needed. Please don't touch anything past the line again. And then it's just going to adjust everything to that. As you can see, that before that was 625, now it's 620, and then that is also adjusted here as far as our rejections. It doesn't add anywhere else except this tab because that's the only tab that's going to be affected, and then also this tab right here, we're weeks behind because we haven't gotten the full amounts of credits that we needed from stake. And then our last entry, we're going to put in spending. It's going to put it in index cards, and we spent a whopping total of $5 on index cards. That's a lot of index cards. And then that's going to be down here on our spending tab where that is stored. Scroll down a little bit. Oh. Okay, well, let's just make sure that's there. All right, index cards, $5. Again, that is stored right here on our spending. It looks like just the Envelopewriting here is in the way. So if you click on that, click the arrow to the side, you can still see the 5 is right there if you did make a mistake. And I can just move that upwards just to show you that it's there. So that is kind of simple and basic from how this is actually working and taking your data in that kind of manner. Let's see if there's anything else that we are missing. Again, you can also change your tax rate in that way. And then just to a notice, as you can see, the current total actual profit is negative $1 because the cost kind of overshadows that. Now, let me demonstrate to you. Say you just wanted to play, you wanted to recycle, whatever the case is, and you wanted to purchase a bundle. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our entries, and we're going to put that as a spending item because it's a bundle, right? And we're going to put that we spent $100 on a bundle. When I click submit, let's look at where that goes and what that does. So for our data, because we spent $100 on a bundle, it's going to add it to our actual profit, because if I lose that and then that's that, I didn't make any money at all. And I'm honestly just down in the hole another $100. Now, as we play through that bundle, we're going to go back to our entries. Say we took that $100 bundle and we redeem that from stake. And so we're just going to put in 100 because that's our previous bundle that we just purchased. Now, if you go back to our dashboard, it's going to show back to our things and it's going to cancel out that bundle. That is very important because if you just decide to have fun, you do need to include that, and it's a way to track how you're doing in your winnings or your loot or your losses. Because It just makes complete sense. If we go back just to undo that entry, you can see that your actual redeemed is negative $95, and you have a 9.5x percent to redeemed, which is honestly not good. So we're gonna undo that, and then if we were to go back to that and put in, let's see, our redemption, let's say we actually redeemed $1,000 in that case, where, as you can see, the data on us goes ahead and puts it in, subject to tax withholding, of course, $181 off those winnings. It is going to display our actual profit. So it's also just a way, again, to track how you're doing in that case. Just a reminder and a friendly way to do it. Now, I don't think I have anything else to display at this time. Again, just remember what I said about what every single entry is for and how you do it, and then how if you want to go back and you want to edit your actual data over here in your new data, you can just delete the rows. You can select it, delete it that way. Or as I'm going to do it right now, I'm just going to go ahead and delete everything from our data. Go to spending, go ahead and delete that. Rejections, we're going to go ahead and delete that. And then our redemptions, we're going to just delete all that. And as you can see, our data is back to being 0 and clear. And that's kind of the end of understanding how this works. If you have any further questions, again, don't feel free to reach out to me on Discord. I'm available. It might take me a little bit to reply to you, but I'm available. And then you can also just email me at, my email is here, micah.wright352@gmail.com. You can just get me there. All right, guys, if you have any questions, again, let me know, but that is how you do that.